I found the fundraiser on a Wednesday. I wasn't looking for it. I was trying to reorder my medication. The insurance portal had denied the refill, again, and I ended up in a spiral of links, tabs, receipts. Everything I never used to understand, until the word oncologist became a regular part of my vocabulary. I was tired. Too tired to be angry. Too used to being tired to even feel it. Then I saw it. Shared on a mutual's Facebook page. No context, just a caption. Please help this beautiful couple recover from family tragedy so they can celebrate love. The photo hit me first. It was Alana in her white dress. Not a wedding dress, exactly. More like a soft engagement gown. Her smile, bright and glossy. Her fiancé, Ryan, standing behind her with his hand on her shoulder, like he was proud of what they'd accomplished. In the corner there was a ribbon, pink, with the word hope etched across it. I clicked the link. Help Alana and Ryan rebuild their dream wedding after devastating news rocked their family. Her sister's diagnosis changed everything. No name, just her sister. No permission. No conversation. Just a weaponized illness wrapped in wedding lace and Pinterest dreams. And there I was. The tragedy. When I called my mother, she said, "Oh, I thought she told you." She said it with a sigh, like I was already becoming an inconvenience. A problem in the middle of her day. "You're not mad, are you?" She didn't use your name. It's anonymous. I could hear the clinking of plates in the background. She was hosting a tasting that afternoon, probably for Alana's wedding menu. Mom had turned into a full-time planner for her, as if that made up for all the years she missed when we were kids, as if throwing her the perfect wedding would erase the guilt of everything else. But they raised over $6,000, I said. Silence. Then, well, you know how expensive venues are these days. I sat on the edge of the bed for a long time after that, not angry, just erased, like my pain had been taken, wrung out like a rag and used to clean up someone else's fantasy. And the worst part? The people donating thought they were helping me. People I went to school with. Distant cousins, old co-workers. They believed they were easing my burden, easing the weight of a diagnosis. But all they did was pay for custom florals and a photographer, who charged by the hour. I never saw a dime. There's this moment I keep going back to. It wasn't loud. It wasn't even cruel. But it was where something in me slipped out of place, like a picture on the wall no one bothers to straighten anymore. It was the second round of chemo. I had just thrown up into the little kidney-shaped bowl they give. Pink plastic, cold against the skin. I was shaking. I remember that clearly. My hands, my knees, my voice when I tried to ask the nurse if I could lie down. And I remember the nurse looking around and asking, "Is anyone here with you?" I told her. My sister said she was coming. She smiled, soft and apologetic, and wheeled in a blanket warmer instead. Alana never came. Later, she texted a selfie, her and Ryan at the beach. The caption said, "Needed this after such a heavy week. No mention of me, no visit, no check-in." I showed the photo to my mom. Her only response was, "You know how Alana gets overwhelmed. Let her breathe." That's what they kept saying, like it was a script. Let her breathe. Let her process. Let her have this moment. Every time I spoke about the way it hurt, not the chemo, not the nausea, but the quiet erasure of my needs. They acted like I was the one being selfish. Just because you're going through something doesn't mean the world stops. That's what Dad said when I asked why Alana wasn't helping with rides to the hospital. That's what Mom echoed when I brought up the fundraiser again. That's what Alana texted, word for word, when I finally told her how I felt. It had taken me 3 days to draft the message. I even deleted it twice. I didn't accuse her. I didn't yell. I just said it hurt. That I wished she had asked before sharing my illness as a bullet point for donations. That it felt like I was being paraded around in silence while she collected. The applause? Her reply? Just because you're going through something doesn't mean the world stops. She even put a heart emoji at the end, like that made it better. I don't know when it started. The shrinking. Maybe it was years ago. Maybe it was the way Alana cried louder when we were little, so I learned to stay quiet to keep the peace. Maybe it was the time she stole my sketchbook and told Mom I said she could, and I got scolded for being mean to her. Maybe it was every moment in between, those tiny edits to reality that made her the center of the story, and me the footnote. But this was different. This time, I was the tragedy, not even a character. Just a plot device, and she had no shame using it. The email came late at night, 2 weeks after the fundraiser. Subject line: You've been selected to view Alana and Ryan's dream wedding registry. As if it were some kind of honor. As if I should be proud to scroll through pages of engraved serving trays and crystal vases after they used my diagnosis to pay the deposit. I stared at the email for a long time. The thumbnail photo showed them clinking glasses, her in a silk robe with bride embroidered across the back, him in a button-down with the sleeves rolled up just enough to look effortless. My name wasn't mentioned, of course. Just a generic invitation sent through the registry site. But I knew it came from her. She'd clicked send to all contacts without thinking twice. Or maybe she had thought about it, and just didn't care. I didn't delete the email. I forwarded it to myself. Again, just so I could look at it on a better screen. I zoomed in on each item. The espresso machine, the $400 towel set, the honeymoon fund with a smiling beach emoji. I kept thinking, what did she tell them to justify this? Did she say she was mourning? Did she say the diagnosis ruined their plans? Or did she just let them assume, the way she always had, and cash in on the sympathy? And maybe what stung more than anything was this. It worked. People donated. People bought the gifts. People liked the posts, commented heart emojis, and wrote things like, "You deserve joy after what your family's been through." After what your family's been through. As if she carried anything. As if she ever showed up. I didn't write back. I didn't call. I didn't even text her to say, "This is cruel." Instead, I opened the wedding group chat, the one Mom had added, me 2 months ago, and stared at the unread messages, dozens of them, dress fittings, cake samples. Should we go with eucalyptus or lavender? Alana's countdowns, Mom's cheerleading, Ryan's occasional approval emojis. I hadn't replied to anything in weeks, and no one noticed. So I did it. I left the group. No fanfare. No announcement. No explanation. Just a silent click and a message at the bottom of their screen. You have been removed from this conversation. And it was quiet. I thought maybe someone would text, that Mom would call, that Alana would send. A guilt-drenched "Are you okay?" followed by another heart emoji. But the hours passed, then a full day, then 2. No one said anything, and I realized they didn't notice I left because they never remembered I was there. The dress had been hanging in my closet for 3 months, a dusty mauve, the color Alana insisted looked flattering on everyone, though it made me look like a faded bruise. She'd texted me a link, not a question. Just this one. Order by Friday, so it ships in time for alterations. There was never a conversation about whether I wanted to be in the wedding. She just assumed. Because that's how it always was. Alana chose. I complied. Even now, with everything. The fundraiser, the group chat, the registry. No one had asked if I still planned to stand next to her at the altar. I was just a fixture. A body to fill the frame. A sister-shaped prop. I pulled the dress down quietly one morning. It still had the tags on it. I didn't cry. I didn't even sigh. I just laid it across my bed and looked at it. Limp, expensive, unnecessary. Then I folded it carefully, tucked it into the shipping bag it arrived in, and placed it in the back of my wardrobe, behind an old winter coat I hadn't worn since the year before. It wasn't a dramatic gesture. Not even a rejection. Really, more like a burial. Later that week, Mom called, not to check on me, but to confirm arrival times for the rehearsal dinner. I already booked your room at the inn, she said cheerfully. It's non-refundable, so just let me know if you want me to pack your medication for you or I'm not coming, I said. Silence, like I'd pulled the plug on a jukebox. Then, forced lightness. Not coming to what, sweetheart? The wedding, I said. Or the dinner. Or anything, really. Another silence. Heavier this time, shaped like disbelief but laced with disappointment. She tried laughing. Okay, very funny. Seriously, though. I'm not joking. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just got very cold, very fast, like flipping a switch. Well, she said tightly, I think that's incredibly unfair to your sister. After everything she's done for you. I almost asked, like what? What has she done? Other than take and twist and turn my life into a backdrop for her own? But I didn't say anything. Because I was done trying to explain how it felt to be invisible in your own story. That night, I logged into the fundraiser site. I didn't comment. I didn't report it. I just clicked the report page button and filled out the form with 4 words, using false medical context. Then I closed the tab, logged off, took a long shower, and for the first time in months, I slept without dreaming. I started painting again. It wasn't a decision, more like instinct. I had been sorting through an old cabinet looking for heating pads and found my brushes packed behind a stack of unopened insurance letters. The bristles were stiff. The tubes of gouache mostly dried up. But the sketch pad still smelled like graphite and almond oil. I sat cross-legged on the floor, holding a brush like it was something sacred. Like it remembered me even when I had forgotten myself. That night, I painted the sea. No boats, no shorelines. Just a wide gray stretch of water under pale light. Nothing dramatic, nothing stormy. Just still. I didn't post it, didn't share it. Just pinned it to the wall above my desk like a private reminder. There is a life outside their approval. Days passed. Alana didn't text. Mom stopped trying. Dad's silence, as usual, was louder than anything. But something strange started happening. Small, almost imperceptible things. I got emails from people I hadn't spoken to in years. Friends from high school, a former coworker, even an old professor. Each one said something like, "Hey, I donated to your sister's fundraiser. Was that okay? Or is there a way to support you directly? Some of them apologized. One of them even sent a $20 grocery gift card, just in case. I never asked for any of it. But their words made something loosen in my chest. They knew. They saw. Maybe not everything, but enough. I went back to the wedding site a few days later, not to check the fundraiser, but to see if my name was still listed. Under bridal party, it used to say, maid of honor. My sister, my rock. Now it said, bridesmaid, TBD, no message, no explanation. Just a silent replacement of affection with abbreviation. I went to the grocery store that night, bought a lemon cake and a box of tea. And when I got home, I did something I hadn't done in months. I opened all the windows. Let the cold air in, let the light change the way the walls looked. Let myself feel something besides guilt for no longer performing grief the way they wanted. The wedding was in 3 weeks, but I wasn't counting down. I was just living. Finally, the message came on a Sunday evening, a week before the wedding. No subject line, just a string of lowercase words. I don't know why you're doing this. You're making it harder than it has to be. I stared at it, unread, for almost an hour. It sat in my inbox like a lump in the throat. Not aggressive, not kind, just heavy with performance. There were no questions in it. Just guilt stitched into every period. Like I owed her something for staying silent. There was no I'm sorry, no I shouldn't have, no recognition, only discomfort that her carefully curated world had been interrupted. I didn't reply. Instead, I opened a new tab and typed in the name of a girl I met during chemo. Tara. She was younger than me. 23. Always wore a beanie with cat ears stitched on top. She had this notebook full of poetry she never let anyone read, except once, when she left it in the waiting room and pretended it was an accident. Last I heard, she was raising funds for another round of treatment. I found her page. She hadn't updated it in months. The banner image was blurry. The donate button looked tired, but I clicked it. Not for much. Just what I had. $100 I was saving for a new coat. I wrote nothing in the message box, just left it blank. I didn't want her to feel indebted. I didn't want her to even know it was me. I just wanted the loop to close on something real. After I sent it, I went back to Alana's message and hovered over the delete button. But I didn't press it. I let it stay. Unread. Unacknowledged. Like a postcard that never arrived. Later that week, I received a wedding reminder email. You are receiving this because you are part of the guest list for Alana and Ryan's special day. I clicked the link, scrolled past the RSVP, found the send a gift tab, and this time I didn't even open it. I just closed the laptop, turned off the lights, and let the room grow quiet again. I woke up to sun on the floorboards. It had rained the night before. I remembered hearing it against the windows, slow and steady, like a song that doesn't need words. But now the sky was clean, pale blue, a little wind, the kind of morning that doesn't announce itself, it just arrives. The date glared back at me from my phone screen. Saturday, 10:32 a.m. Alana's wedding day. In another city, at a vineyard I helped pay for without knowing, people were pinning corsages to lapels. Bridesmaids were curling their hair, taking filtered selfies, holding champagne flutes shaped like hope. My name wouldn't be spoken. I was a footnote no one wanted to remember, especially not today. And strangely, that didn't ache the way I thought it would. I made tea. Rooibos, no sugar. I sat near the open window with a blanket over my knees, sketchbook resting against one thigh. I wasn't painting anything specific, just shapes, shadows, light across water. The sun shifted quietly across the room, catching dust in the air. I watched it, let it blur my focus, let it remind me I was still here. Still mine. Around noon, my phone buzzed. I glanced at the screen and saw a name I didn't expect. Aunt Rhonda. We hadn't spoken in over a year. She was the only one in my family who sent me a card when I started treatment. No money, no sermons, just a short handwritten note that said, "You matter more than they ever made you feel." The message now was brief. Just wanted you to know. You were missed. Today. By the right people. No photos. No details. Just that. I held the phone in my hand for a long time. Not crying. Not smiling. Just held. It was the first time I realized I hadn't been erased completely. Just from the places I no longer needed to stand. That afternoon, I painted again. Not the sea this time, but a table. A small one with a chipped corner, a teacup, and sunlight pooling in a way that made it feel like home. I pinned it beside the others. No caption. No audience. Just mine. It started with a comment. 3 days after the wedding, on one of Alana's photos, the posed vineyard shot, her head thrown back in a laugh, his hand on her waist, sun streaming through a lace veil. A comment, buried among hearts and flower emojis. Wait, wasn't this fundraiser supposed to be for medical treatment? No profile picture, no drama, just a question. I didn't reply. Neither did Alana. But 2 days later, there was another. I donated thinking, this was for her sister. Did I misunderstand? And then another. Where's the transparency? I didn't watch it unfold. I didn't scroll or refresh. I simply turned off notifications and put my phone face down on the windowsill. The world was unraveling on its own, without me needing to lift a finger. A week later, the fundraiser page disappeared. No email, no explanation, just a 404 error where the photos used to be. I imagined her crying. Imagined Mom comforting her, saying things like, "People are jealous," or, "You don't owe anyone anything." I wasn't angry. Not anymore. Because the thing about silence, the real kind, the kind you choose, is that it grows stronger with time. It stops being emptiness. It becomes space. I sold my painting, the one of the chipped table and the teacup. A friend of a friend saw it, asked if I had more, said she wanted something that felt like coming home to yourself. She didn't know the story behind it. Didn't know that I painted it while everyone else was dancing at a wedding I wasn't invited to. She just said it made her feel seen. That was enough. Months passed. No one brought up the wedding again. No one apologized. But one morning, while cleaning out my inbox, I found Alana's last message, still unread. I hovered over it, thought about opening it, then quietly, without hesitation, I clicked archive. And just like that, it was gone. Brewed tea, lit a candle, and opened the window. Outside, The world was pale and quiet, like something was beginning, and this time, it was mine.